You know, I know some folks are hesitant about the idea of Mueller testifying to Congress, and he says he's not going to answer any more questions. I don't know about you, but when I hear a public official saying they're not going to answer any more questions from Congress, especially someone where there are so many questions about their corruption and activities, my back gets up. And I've long been of the view that Mr. Mueller should have been questioned by Congress as this investigation was ongoing, given all the controversies. He went out of his way to talk about and extol the virtues of the team he put together. Andrew Weissman, he couldn't manage to, who was a Hillary Clinton supporter, went to Hillary Clinton's election night party, sent an email, as Judicial Watch uncovered, to Sally Yates, the Obama holdover, who was acting AG, supporting and praising Yates for lawlessly refusing to defend President Trump's entirely lawful travel ban. Really outrageous. Peter Strzok, the anti-Trump FBI agent, fired. He was part of the Mueller team for a time. He testified. Mueller said, you know, we don't want you around anymore, more or less. And Mueller never asked him whether his anti-Trump bias impacted his decision-making in terms of getting this operation going. Again, targeting Trump. Peter Strzok, at the heart of the Mueller operation for a period of time, at the heart of the Russia investigation, at the heart of the Clinton investigation. Mr. Mueller didn't talk about him. So I want Mr. Mueller to answer these questions. I want to know why he thinks hiring a bunch of Democrat donors, people connected to Hillary Clinton, anti-Trumpers, was appropriate for a special counsel investigation that was designed to reassure the people that justice would be fairly administered. The president, rightly, this week responded strongly to Mueller's operation, saying he should never have been hired. I agree with him there. The president had a business dispute. I don't know too much about the details there, but evidently it was serious enough for the president to keep on raising it, because he certainly remembered it, with Mueller over at one of his golf clubs. He was a member at his golf club. And on top of that, Mr. Mueller interviewed or wanted the job of FBI director again. So he was involved in the hiring process. He went over to the White House, supposedly. How on earth was he able to investigate how that firing came about when he was a witness to what was going on at the White House? Terribly conflicted. And of course, the special counsel operation itself was corruptly formed. And I'd like to ask Mr. Mueller this. You know, your friend James Comey has admitted to using the FBI files that I would say were stolen from the FBI on President Trump. He purposely leaked them through a cutout to the New York Times to get a special counsel appointed. He said that's why he did it. He wanted a special counsel appointed. And you were that special counsel. So given the corruption behind your appointment, why would you continue? Why didn't you wash your hands of it? And to me, that was always a big deal. The fact that once Mueller found out how he got his job and the circumstances of the appointment of a special counsel, if I were him, or if he had, I think, the ethics required to take on such a position, he should have washed his hands of the whole thing and said, you know, you find some other patsy to target your enemy, President Trump. I'm not going to be your tool. But instead, he continued this outrageous investigation. And as it goes back again to the beginning, there never was collusion. They all knew there was no collusion. They knew it from the beginning. It was confirmed in the indictments I talked about earlier of the Russians abroad. And that was in the beginning of 2017. Most charitably, the beginning of 2018. And yet they allowed this obstruction investigation to continue even though they knew there was no collusion. Why did they do this? When did they know there was no collusion? Was it because the Democrats on that team didn't want to harm Democrat chances for the midterms by giving the president a win? Those are the sorts of questions we need to be asking Mr. Mueller. And I tell you, his ethical misdeeds this week, you just watched, if you watched that press conference, you're all witnesses to ethical misconduct by a Justice Department lawyer. And to the degree there's any ethics process in the Justice Department, and there isn't much of one, there needs to be something done in terms of investigation of not only what Mueller did, but the whole operation. Investigating investigators cannot be limited to just the genesis of Russiagate and FISA abuses, but how that Mueller operation occurred and how it operated. There ought to be an ethics audit of the Mueller special counsel operation, including, as it's clear, the leader, Mr. Mueller. He's proven himself to be political. To come out at this time and attack the president and smear the president again with false accusations and suggest in no uncertain terms that Congress should impeach him. I mean, if that's the case, then why did he investigate him to begin with if he thought he couldn't indict him? I've told you from the beginning this investigation was unconstitutional. The Justice Department can't investigate the president for conduct as president. The president can't investigate himself. It's just a constitutional nullity. So I don't know what Congress is going to do. The Democrats, I think, want to have Mueller testify in secret, but as I say, I think he should be testifying publicly and being asked these direct questions. I know it will be a lot of, he'll again smear Trump, but we got to get some type of accountability. And of course, we're not going to rely on Congress to do the right thing. That's why we have I think it's at least 10 lawsuits now on the Mueller special counsel operation, what it was up to. I told you earlier about Weissman hiring the anti-Trumpers on Mueller's staff. Well, we found that out through a Judicial Watch lawsuit, not through Congress and not through the media. And you can be sure that we aren't going to forget what Mr. Mueller did and the damage that special counsel did to the presidency, the rule of law, and our constitutional republic. So when I say 10 lawsuits, I'm saying that's just a start.